Hutch, you're asking loaded questions. Like you say what happened and then say, well, how do you explain what I hallucinated happened? What you're saying is totally insane about cops getting fucking mutilated, dude. Like 3 cops out of natural fucking causes. You can grab your head like you're Jesse Pinkman over and over. It doesn't make it right.
Give me the innocent explanation.
Oh yeah. Do you see your dad when you answer me like that? You have this smug, like sarcastic attitude with them.
Listen, I would encourage everybody who's listening to this right now.
Me too.
I would encourage everybody. We know that he sat in the White House dining room and watched on live television cops brutalized and mutilated. Literally mutilated. There were dozens of cops were mutilated that day.
Wait, when?
How are they mutilated?
On January 6th.
How are they mutilated?
Did they take years?
No.
I'm going to continue what I'm saying. So at 4:17, nearly 3 hours later, is when he finally asked them to go home.
Cops were mutilated.
They were literally mutilated. People stole their batons from them and beat them with their own batons. You had people crushed in a doorway because his Trump supporters were violently.
Didn't see that footage?
How did you not see this footage?
It's so everywhere.
I understand information silos. You can laugh all you want. You can laugh all you want. You can laugh all you want.
I don't know, but we know it's the word, and I'm just
It's the word mutilated is ridiculous.
Because when we ask, you start freaking out. Like this will undermine your little speech. Like they're
if you back off mutilated and make it attack, then we all agree.
There were broken bones. A guy named Brian Sicknick had a stroke. He died the next day. The coroner's report, the chief medical examiner.
Did Trump cause the stroke with like a stroke gun?
The coroner's report, the chief medical examiner said all the events of what happened that day contributed to his condition. So we know that Donald Trump watched it live and waited 3 hours to ask them to leave. How do you explain that?
Well, first of all, cops
got a stroke because he got too excited, and that's our fault?
Do you know more than a chief medical examiner?
I mean, if he's saying a cop shouldn't have had a stroke for being a cop, I guess. A cop
I'm a doctor.
To work
the stroke was caused by
he gets too stressed out and has a stroke, and what's his job then? Because you're so agitated about this narrative that you're trying to get across. It's nuts.
Well, just explain it to me. How do you explain Donald Trump watching cops get brutalized for 3 hours and before finally asking them to go home?
The cops?
Trump asked them 3 hours.
Oh my gosh, do you really think he... Stop it, Dick.
Trump said go peacefully, no violence. And then he got banned from Twitter.
And then he
couldn't
watched
say anything.
The violence unfold live on television for 3 hours. His family begged him to ask those protesters to leave. His staff begged him to ask those protesters to leave. And it took 3 hours. So how do you explain
with a bullhorn? What do you mean? He said, "Go peacefully to whatever we're doing next. Don't do any violence."
You're not.
What more do you What more do you want to pin on him? Mutilated
of
police?
My question at all. You're not.
Do you think what you're asking is insane? What you're asking is why did Trump wait 3 hours to stop violence? I don't know, man. Does he have a magical anti-violence wand that he can wave?
Number one, he could have put out a message as soon as violence broke out, asking his supporters to leave.
They were fighting. They weren't tweeting.
Number two, he could have.
They had cops to mutilate. They're not on their phones.
He could have called in the National Guard immediately. He had complete authority to call in the National Guard immediately. That call had to come from Pence. He never even made that call. So
Pence
how do you explain that?
The reason that Trump didn't do anything for 3 hours is he was hoping the insurrection would work.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
How would it work?
He was trying to pressure Pence to reject those electors and send it back to the states so he could further litigate his claims that had already been adjudicated and settled.
So using the legal system was his
Pence
plan?
to see the writing was on the wall, and I'm surprised Pence stood by there because like there was probably, you know how like telephone games work. I'm sure there was a moment where his Secret Service was told like they've taken the Capitol, and it's like, wait, what?
He was happy.
It's what he wanted. Has fallen.
Down there
the
and
castle has fallen.
He didn't give a fuck.
Wait, Hutch, you're not right. He did care. He was happy. This was what he hoped for. He said, "March down to the Capitol and fight." Right?
You guys are in a cult together.
He said to go. Yeah, he said to go peacefully.
You don't
He also
answer
said to fight.
questions. You dodge questions.
It's
you
the
realize
Trump
that, right?
two-step.
Hutch, you're asking loaded questions. Like you say
loaded
what happened
question.
and then say,
I'm
well, how do you
asking you for
explain what
innocent
I
explanation.
hallucinated
I'm
happened?
asking- I'm
What
asking
you're
you
saying
for
is totally
innocent-
insane about cops getting fucking mutilated, dude. Like 3 cops out of natural
Bro.
fucking causes. You can grab your
Bro.
head like you're Jesse Pinkman
Give
over
me
and
the
over. It
innocent
doesn't make it right.
explanation. Give me the innocent explanation. Try.
Trump said go down, and we're gonna have a big rally about freedom, and we're gonna.
And then he watched cops.
Hey,
get
you fucking
brutalized
interrupting
for 3
jackass! I'm trying to
hours.
fucking explain it
You're
to you.
not answering the question. You are not
Trump
answering the
said
question.
the beneficial.
You're not even trying to answer the question. You
The
understand
generous
that, right?
explanation is that he said, hey, everybody go down peacefully and assemble. And we're going to have another big rally. All we do is rallies, and things got out of hand because you got a bunch of agitators in the crowd. Some guys who are nuts, Antifa guys, and the FBI, and they're all trying to agitate everybody. The FBI tried to kidnap Whitner, you smug fucks. What the fuck are you talking about? They don't do this shit.
Sure. I'm going to ask the question again. He watched it for 3 hours. Why did he wait 3 hours to ask them to leave?
Ask who to leave? Everybody?
Hey,
everybody leave. Hey, everybody leave.
It's not that
what do you want him to do?
Entrenched. You're just dumb. You're not answering this question, and I think it's obvious why.
What do you want him to do? What exactly did you want him to do?
Tell them to leave.
Where?
Soon.
Where?
What do you mean where? What kind of
Twitter.
Tell them. Who the fuck is them, Hutch, you jackass? Where would he get his fucking tin can phone? How? Where? Say it where. Say where. Where? Tell them where.
He posted at 4:17. He asked them to leave, and they left. Do you realize that?
On Twitter?
Yes.
Yes!
So you think Trump saying on Twitter, hey, everybody leave, and they all just go, well, we're out of here. See ya.
It literally
We're going.
happened. It literally happened.
I guess if it happened at the same time, then one must have caused the other. How do you get this far without I guess that's your whole platform, right?
Okay.
Correlation is causation.
Okay.
It happened at the same time, so it must have caused it. They didn't just get tired and go home. Oh, hey everybody, Trump said to go. We got to go. Let me get this lectern. Let's get out of here. Okay. Is that what you think happened? Is that what you think happened?
It literally
And Trump
happened.
caused it. Trump caused it.
Yes. Why did he wait 3 hours? Have you tried to answer that question? Why?
Why did he wait 3 hours to tweet?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's probably figuring it out. What feed was he getting? Did he try to go there himself and stop it?
We know he was watching it live on TV. We know this for a fact.
So you wanted him live tweeting it?
I wanted him the second they started breaching the Capitol and attacking cops to tell them to go home. Yes.
Everybody? He doesn't think cops have this under control?
Let's leave half of them in the Capitol. Yeah, let's just leave half of them. Of course.
Well, you guys have done that multiple times. You guys
just the ones that were let
protests
in.
in the fucking Capitol all the time. So it's not really it's not that strange for this big of a deal.
Okay.
Do you or do you not protest in the Capitol? Have liberals ever done that?
There's a slight difference between what we've seen in the past and what we saw on
you
January
did it.
6th.
That's the difference. You guys did it, so it's fine. Yeah.
There were people, for example, that protested the Kavanaugh hearings. They got arrested. They engaged in a form of civil disobedience. People take those risks and they break the law and they should be thrown in jail. Yes.
So your big problem with January 6th is that Trump didn't tweet it right away and say, go home. That's it.
He incited a mob to storm the Capitol in an effort to pressure Pence to not certify the results of those elections.
What a story.
It's not a story. It literally happened.
Oh, man. Look at all this stuff that he did. I know because I can read his fucking mind.
And then, I don't know.
Trump, this is Trump's elaborate plan. By the way, he's a jackass and he's an idiot and he doesn't know what he's doing. But here's his elaborate scheme to somehow pressure people into using the legislative systems back in their home states. Wow, what a fucking monster. Thank God he didn't get away with using the system.
You still have not even tried to touch the question of
why he didn't tweet right away. I don't fucking know. Because he thought it would make it worse. Because he thought other people were because he thought the Capitol Police should be there doing their job.
You're saying he thought he would make it worse by asking them to leave?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't pretend to know what's in Trump's head. He said gather peacefully. What more do you want?
Okay. Did that happen?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. Most people, the people staying in the red velvet rope, walking around the Capitol, we're doing it peacefully. Yes. Okay, what?
I'm not, you're not answering the question at all.
I said I don't know why Trump didn't immediately tweet, hey, everybody disperse, everybody leave. Don't you think that'd be kind of weird?
Just try to give an innocent explanation. Try.
I just did. He's getting information and he doesn't know what to do. He figured the Capitol Police would take care of it. He figured that the fucking locks on the door would work.
No. You're speculating when we don't need to. We know he was watching it live on TV for 3 hours.
So you're saying, why didn't Trump stop Ashley Babbitt from climbing in that window? Is that what you're asking? Like, he should have been right there. No, I'm the hand of God. Don't do what you're about to do.
Why did he not ask them to leave?
I don't know. Because he thought the Capitol Police would figure it out. Maybe he was trying to do other things.
Okay.
No. I understand that the only reasonable explanation is that he was trying to stage a fucking coup using Cracker Barrel grandmas, right? That's the only reasonable explanation. All right, everybody, get in there and walk through the velvet ropes and go in Nancy Pelosi's office and kick your feet up. That'll really strike fear into their hearts, right? Maybe the answer's on the floor, Hutch. Okay.
Sure.
Is that? Oh yeah. Am I your? Do you see your dad when you answer me like that?
What
you have this smug, like sarcastic attitude with them. Okay.
I would encourage everybody who's listening to this right now.
Me too.
I would encourage everybody who's listening to this right now. The New York Times compiled a 40-minute compilation of videos that was assembled from footage from hundreds of people that day, and it documents in detail the hours of brutal violence. It was not just
mutilated.
It was not just QAnon grandma walking around the Capitol. You know that it's not true.
I mean, there's tons of people there. I'm sure there's a bunch of assholes too. The FBI's there. I don't like them.
Why would you focus on the grandma who was walking around the Capitol and not the people who were taking American flags and beating cops with them? You guys are the guys that are the ones that normally say the thin
cops
blue line,
weren't fucking beaten,
et cetera, et cetera. And now all of you think that these cops were like fucking deep state in on some Fed conspiracy.
Why were the doors open?
No, not the cops. Not the cops for sure. They got
FBI.
Their asses whooped.
And they're trying to say that wasn't Trump's people. Those were Antifa people. But we all know that's stupid, right? We do.
I mean, I'm sure it was both being bad guys. Like, I don't know. It's just
bad on both sides.
Is Antifa here with us now?
Okay.
Yes, they're all over.
All right.
Woody, I've been violently assaulted by Antifa guys. What are you talking about? A self-identifying Antifa guy threw me into a concrete bunker in front of Netflix.
I was seeing people say Antifa shot Trump, whatever it was, last weekend. And I'm like, my gosh, everything's Antifa. Antifa's everywhere. It's the go-to boogeyman for the right.
Al-Qaeda.
I would rather you just say, the left poses, I believe the left poses such a serious threat that I'm okay with Donald Trump taking whatever steps he felt was necessary to stay in power. I would just much rather you just be honest about it instead of trying to come up with these bullshit excuses.
See, this is why everything you say is so loaded. It's like, I want you to say, and then you give your insane opinion that I don't think, and then you act like a smug prick when I don't agree with it.
There's
like, I just wish you would say you want to kill liberals. Why won't you admit it?
I'm not saying you want to kill liberals. I'm saying that people broadly on the right view the left as this deranged mob of people that want to mutilate and sexually abuse kids and destroy democracy, replace capitalism with communism, replace God with Satan. And they're ready for someone like Trump to come in who openly floated suspending the Constitution. You know, like he just openly said it. And so I just don't understand this idea that you have to like jump through hoops. Just fucking say, you know what? I'm ready for a king. I am ready for this American democratic project to end, and I'm ready for a strong man to come in and protect the country from these godless liberals. We all know that's what you think.
This really plays to your audience who sees all conservatives as one person. But this might shock you, but we're all individuals who think that Trump had different reasons for doing what he did. A lot of us don't think that election was valid. A lot of us think
based on nothing.
Well, why is it his job though? He's not doing. I mean,
why is it? Why is he's the commander in chief, bro? What do you mean?
The commander in chief of the army. The army doesn't fight Americans, bro. Did you forget that?
The National Guard, you absolutely can deploy the National Guard to quell an insurrection.
And you expect him to have done that in like a couple minutes after people are... An insurrection isn't a bunch of Cracker Barrel grandmas going through open doors. Yes, it is. An insurrection is like a fucking militia storming shit. Not a bunch of feds opening the door for a parade.
Listen, like information silos exist. And at this point, I'm just fully convinced that you have somehow just I don't know how you've somehow managed to avoid the fucking hours of footage.
That you're saying
clashes.
from inside your fucking silo. No, I get it completely. It's amazing that this plan totally worked. They stormed the Capitol, and yet he immediately wasn't president. What a dumb plan.
I don't know what you're saying. Like sometimes like
no
insurrections
shit.
fail. Sometimes insurrections fail. They don't work.
Do you
like
Hutch, do you really
failed coup?
COVID and the subsequent lockdowns destroyed our economy.
Yeah.
Destroyed it. Millions of people lost their jobs.
No, I'm not.
You're saying
like,
that's
first
not
of all, well, when we talk about lockdowns, like in California, for example, the lockdown was like 3 weeks, and then the
lockdown was
fucked.
Dude, come on.
In California, I live in LA, bro. The lockdown was totally fucked.
Hold on,
Are you
hold
insane?
on. They shuttered businesses so they weren't operating at the same level that they were before, but it was within like 2 or 3 months that you could go to like outdoor restaurants or whatever. So it's not like literally the entire economy shut down, but we were also in the middle of an once in a generation pandemic that killed 1 million people. Like, so what, and people at the time, like the CDC or whoever that was setting these standards, all they're trying to do in that
around
moment
all
is
over the place. Businesses were locked down.
I'm sorry if you can't.
They were
like,
locked down
follow
all
what
over.
I'm saying. I don't think I'm rambling at all. The issue here with the inflation is that it is just a plain fact that Donald Trump signed a stimulus package with a PPP protection program, which added $600 per week every month on top of existing unemployment benefits, and Americans broadly were able to save money. So by the time these industries opened back up, demand was insane because people had all this money to spend. In 3 weeks? No, we're talking about
California lockdown was 3 weeks, right? And then we could go eat outside in a park.
The literal shelter in place was, I think, like 3 weeks, right? Are you disagreeing with that? Should we just look it up?
Dude, the economy
this goes back to like
don't
me
let
not
you
being
look things up. We
retarded.
never
The
do.
California lockdown lasted forever. There was everyone was working from home, restaurants and businesses.
As well. If you want to get dinner sometime, we can do that. But like,
yeah, we can go to a nice outdoor restaurant. Like restaurants are permanently outside now. Are you saying this lie to people that California was not locked down?
No,
wait, you can't eat inside anymore, Nick?
I'm saying the rhetoric that we use sometimes, I think, exaggerates what happened. It's no question that the ordinances that were put into place, businesses had to operate at like a limited function. But when we talk about lockdown, the actual shelter in place, I don't think that lasted longer than like 2 or 3 weeks. And I just feel like people
totally
blow
wrong. People left the state. It still hasn't recovered from COVID. LA specifically and California has not recovered from COVID.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, I think your life before COVID was sitting in your room if you think it's recovered. It hasn't. LA's totally destroyed still.
It's now a median right-wing position that Democratic voters want to intentionally allow millions of people into the country so we can reshape the electorate, for example, like great replacement theory kind of stuff.
I believe that.
That's true.
Yeah, that's just true.
Okay. I mean,
you want a wall?
I don't understand how you guys like.
I don't know.
What are we doing?
I just want to know if you guys think that 2020 election was real.
Yes,
I do.
Of
I
course
do.
It was real.
Everybody knows it was real.
Of course it was real.
81 million votes for that guy?
What is your actual
81 million votes against Trump?
What is your actual evidence that it's not real?
Not being a huge retard is my evidence. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wait. I object.
There's no cheating at all. This is all legit. All these millions of people are totally just obeying the law. Then the next day they go back to stealing bikes.
Your personal feelings don't matter to me. I'm asking you, what is your actual evidence that there was massive voter fraud?
Not being a huge retard. That's my evidence.
So you have none.
Do you need? What do you want me to do? Oh, hey, FBI, can I get some of that evidence that you guys stole the election? Okay. How many of the votes in the last election were bad? 1%, 2%?
No, bro. It like 0.0000001% is what they
There's
found.
That being retarded again. All the votes were good.
Show me your
Are
evidence.
You insane?
What is your actual evidence beyond use your brain?
Have you ever voted? You just go there, say whatever you want, and then go in there. Yeah, here you go. There's my vote.
They give you
you hand it to the dumbest people you'll ever meet.
So you have no evidence, to be clear.
I see my neighbor there every time.
There's just no indication that this was politically motivated. There's just
I don't think there is.
Killed a Republican president.
That's but he didn't mean
a pretty good indicator.
My take on
this,
this,
try to kill a
he did do
Republican
that.
presidential nominee.
Dude, they had his
kill Trump. You know,
he did try to kill.
Lots of people hate pedophiles. It might have been that. It might have been his rides on Epstein's plane. It might have been his. Might have been the
You
Epstein
guys don't think it's politically motivated again, huh? The guys who hate Trump? Whoa!
Maybe
Shocker!
People who go into the backstage of the Miss Teen USA contest and brag about it on how.
Guys, he just tried to kill the Republican president. It might not be politically
motivated. There's a lot of things to dislike about Trump. We don't know.
The guy who tried
because I'm not a retard.
The guy who tried to kill Reagan did it because he was literally trying to impress Jodie Foster.
Man, I wish I could hear all this.
Man, I would touch you on this one.
This is so gay.
I'm open. Listen, it could be the fact that he was radicalized to the left and became a progressive in like 7 months or whatever, and then hates his dad or whatever. Maybe, but like there's just no information right now to suggest that.
Look at his arms.
I don't know what that means.
He's got little noodle arms. There's some fucking liberals.
Actually, I was with
How much more evidence do you need?
God damn it!
He was a member
Can't
of a
argue
gun
with that.
club.
Checkmate.
He was a member of a
God
gun
damn it,
club.
Dick! You've done it.
His former classmates describe him as a staunch conservative. I mean, it's just whatever. But I'm not going to sit here and say like
Hutch is right.
It's motivated by this and that thing.
Hutch is right. And I saw that kid's guidance counselor.
Political nominees politically motivated.
I saw that kid's guidance counselor.
Again, okay, listen. He was Googling major depressive disorder. This kid was not okay. He was just not okay. And people, when they're in that state, they just do crazy shit sometimes for no discernible reason. He could have just wanted to go out with a bang or whatever. So
guys, I'm sucking cocks because I'm depressed, not because I'm gay, right?
You're felching, okay? And nothing makes you feel better than a little felch. Yeah, it's different, and we all support it. I'd be okay with the president.
Don't say a little felch anymore. I don't like that.
You haven't been the same since I told you about figging.
What about Pat Tillman? Wasn't that hilarious?
You put it is.
I mean, I've been singing songs about Pat Tillman getting killed for like 10 years or 20 years.
He's the NFL player who volunteered and
he got shot by his own guys.
Yeah, that's what happened to Trump.
That was awesome.
Well, are you saying that because he was a leftist that like read Noam Chomsky or whatever, or like what was the joke there?
Well, he was like pro-military, and then he gave up an NFL career, and everybody on the right, everybody who was pro-military supported him, and then he went over there and got killed. It's like, what do you mean? What's the joke?
Okay, I mean,
apparently.
I'm a little bit, it's confusing to me, but like, so
like,
Dick,
you're encouraging people to go die in war, and then you died in war. Ha ha! Fuck you, idiot.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're not condemning Destiny for his rhetoric, right?
No, I thought what Destiny said was awesome. I wish all liberals would be as honest as Destiny. I know you guys all want us dead. Destiny's saying it. Yes.